So she was selected to train as an astronaut. And she became an astronaut on the spaceship. The name of the spaceship was called Endeavour. Endeavour. Endeavor. Endeavour, meaning try. Endeavour. You must endeavor. You must try. The name of the spaceship was Endeavour. She became an astronaut, a mission specialist on the spaceship Endeavour. And she was the first Black woman astronaut. She was the very first woman astronaut. Okay? So, Mae Jemison, a young girl, a Black girl from Chicago, wanted to be a doctor, wanted to be an astronaut. People laughed at her. Oh, you're just a girl. You're just a Black girl. But she said, no, I will try. And she tried, and she became a woman astronaut, a doctor, an engineer, and an astronaut. Okay. The last person that I will talk about is this girl called Greta. 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 Greta Thunberg. Thunberg. Greta Thunberg. Greta. Greta. And then Thunberg. 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 Okay? You got it? John,
Yes.
John, did you get it? Okay, John. Now let's see what you know about the world that we are living in, whether you are living in America, whether you are living in Burma, whether you are living in Thailand or China or Germany or France, wherever you might be living, we are facing a big problem. The globe, the world that we are living in is getting hot and hot and hotter and hotter and hotter. Not because the sun is getting close that we are getting hotter, but because you and I, we human beings, we are burning a lot of wood, we are burning a lot of coal, a lot of gas, and other fuels. Because of the use of all these fuels, our world is getting hotter. There is climate change. The climate is changing. The climate is changing. The icebergs in the north, where there used to be big ice, a lot of ice, the ice are melting. In the north and in the south, in the North Pole and in the South Pole, big ice, chunks of ice are falling off because it's getting warm. Okay? And so because the ice is melting, the oceans are rising. The water is rising. And so many islands surrounded by water, and many towns and villages close to the ocean, they are now flooded. They have to move because the ocean is rising. And this young girl called Greta Thunberg, her teacher told her about this. Because of climate change, our world is getting worse. Animals are dying. Trees are being cut down, so there is a lot more heat. The weather is changing because we are cutting down more trees than we should. The animals are dying. The plants have been destroyed. No more plants, no more flowers. So she learned this in school. She was in school in Sweden. She lived in Sweden, Stockholm, Sweden. If you want to know more about Stockholm, Sweden, ask your Thara Blessing. He has been to Sweden. He can tell you about Stockholm. Well, when she heard about this, she was 8 years old. And she went into a depression. Depression means very sad. She was very sad because this was happening to the world. And she didn't want to speak at all. And then she said, I must do something about this. I can't let this happen to the children. When we grow up, we become young women and young men. Our world will be changed, not for better, but for worse. It will get worse. I have to do something. So what she did was, as a 15-year-old girl, she made a big signboard like I did just now with the names, a big signboard, and she said, strike for climate, strike for climate. And she didn't attend school on Fridays. Every Friday, a 15-year-old girl would stand in front of the Swedish Parliament. Parliament is the place where the big people meet, the president, the prime minister, all the politicians meet, all the big shots, the big people meet and make decisions. And she would stand there the whole day, from 9 in the morning till 6 in the evening. And she would hold up the sign and say, strike for climate. And other children began to join her. Other children said, yes, Greta is right. We must strike for climate. If not, our world will get worse. It will get hotter and hotter and hotter. We have to do something. And so Greta started this movement for climate change. So Greta is a child who has a kind of disability. This disability is that she cannot speak very well. She cannot communicate. Communicate means talk to another person in a clear way. She has this limitation. She cannot speak well like Lillian or any of you, or Elsa, or Breda, or Dodo too, or John. She could not speak like you. She spoke very slowly and she had to think a lot before she could open her mouth to speak. But she felt very strongly about climate, the global warming, the earth becoming warm. That she said to us that, if I'm to make a change for good in this world, I must overcome my shyness. And I must overcome my problem with speaking. I must speak loud, clear, and slow. She said, our house is burning. Our world is burning. Our house is burning. Our future is at stake. Our future is at stake means our future is in danger. We are in danger of losing our world. So she began to speak at conferences, at meetings, slowly, clearly, but loudly. And world leaders began to listen to Greta. Her voice has caused the leaders to consider how to make the world safe again for everybody. So this is Greta Thunberg. Okay, now let's see whether you remember any of that I told you. Okay, true or false? Let's see the true or false. True or false? Okay. Mae Jemison was a white girl. True or false? Mae Jemison was a white girl. True or false?
False.
False. Okay. Mae Jemison wanted to be a doctor.
Yeah. True, true,
True or
true,
false?
true.
True, true. She studied at Stanford University. She
True,
studied at Stanford University. True, true, true. She was the first black woman astronaut. True?
true.
Yes, true. She was the first black woman astronaut. Okay. Now let's look at Greta. Greta is from Sweden. True or
True,
false?
true.
Greta works as a nurse. True or false?
False, false.
No, false, false, false. She had a problem with speaking. True or false?
True, true.
She had a problem with speaking. She speaks at conferences today. True or false?
True.
Yes, true. Although she had a problem with speaking, now she is speaking so that people will hear about climate change. Okay, you're very good. Very, 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 very good. Now, we come to the last part. And the last part is about what is the power of education? What is the power of education? By listening to the stories of Abraham Lincoln, Sir Sansipo, Mae Jemison, and Greta Thunberg, we understand how powerful education is. How powerful education is. With education, other informal education like Abraham Lincoln had, reading, but no long time schooling, and yet he had education, either informal education or formal education. You get all the information that you need. If you get education, you know things. You know things. Why is the sky blue? Why is a crow black? Why are there seasons in the world? All these questions that you have, you can get the information through education. A.B. Lincoln wanted to know about law. Why is there slavery in America? Why are white people owning slaves in America? And how can I set people free? He learned law so he could find ways to set the black people free. Sansipo wondered, why are the current people so poor? Why are people so sick? Why do they get malaria? Why do they get stomach problem? So he went to medical school to find out the cure and to find ways to make the current people more prosperous and happy. Mae Jemison wanted to know how to make our space look like. What is there in space that can help human beings? What can a doctor do to help people? So she went to Stanford, she went to space to learn all these things. And Greta Thunberg, just like you, was a schoolgirl. She became interested in climate change. And she read everything about climate change. There are some people, even today, they say, no, no, no. It is not human beings who make the climate change. The world is hotter not because of human beings using too much fuel. It is just nature. It is part of the natural world that there should be higher temperature, hotter temperature than before. Some people don't believe in climate change. They don't study. They don't try to find the answer. They just say, oh, it's not true. But Greta, although she was just an 8-year-old, she read and read and read to find out why there is global warming. And she says, I must find ways to stop it.